Joining us tonight, Congressman and Republican Senate candidate Lou Barletta of Pennsylvania. Lou, I've got to make a full disclosure here. We've known each other for years, and I am an unabashed fan of Lou Barletta and a great fan of all that you've done for not only as mayor, but as congressman and for the country. Just extraordinary. Good to have you with us.
Good to talk to you again.
Let's start with, when you watch the president go for 5 on endorsements, as he did yesterday in yesterday's primaries, you must be feeling pretty good about November 6th.
Well, I don't see a blue wave, Lou. What I see is people who are on a desert and think that they see water. When they get there, there's no water. It's a mirage. People vote their pocketbooks. The president's keeping his promises, and they couldn't be happier. He'll win Pennsylvania by a bigger margin in 2020 than he won last time.
And you're working across the state to win the Senate against an establishment figure. You know, the president has made it pretty clear of what he thinks of Casey. You are going to be campaigning effectively on assuring solidarity with the president, whether it be in the Senate or whether it be just in general policy. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was one of the first to endorse President Trump because I believed in the policies and I believed in the things he was saying. You know, right off the start, he talked about securing the borders, putting an end to illegal immigration, speaking for the forgotten men and women. And this race not only contrasts myself and Bob Casey, who has moved very far left. I mean, he is one of the most liberal senators in Washington, but also one of the leaders of the resistance and obstructionists in Washington against somebody who is supporting the policies that are putting record people back to work.
Isn't it extraordinary that there is that the Dems basically are obstructionists? They are the resistance to policies that have led to record low unemployment for Hispanics, for blacks, who has built an economy that is growing at 4.1%. And the national left-wing media, Lou, they want to forget that 8 years of Barack Obama telling the country they would never see 3% growth again. It is amazing to me how facile and delusional the Democratic National Committee is, the Democratic leadership is. They have no plan.
They've lost total touch with people. They're now being run by people who are so far left, and you know, they don't relate to the values of the people in Pennsylvania. I could tell you that, and that's why, you know, they're going to be wrong. They were wrong about President Trump in Pennsylvania, that he couldn't win Pennsylvania. They're going to be wrong about our race as well. The people here in Pennsylvania are not disappointed with what Donald Trump is doing as president of the United States. And, you know, Bob Casey supports sanctuary cities. That's not Pennsylvania. You know, he's against the tax cuts. He gave us Obamacare that saw our premiums rise 120%. I'm looking forward to debating and campaigning here in Pennsylvania and being a vote in the Senate that keeps this going, keeps our economy going.
Can you imagine that you will have to debate somebody who wants to raise taxes, who wants to support sanctuary cities, who doesn't believe in America first, who doesn't appreciate a president who has changed the mindset of the entire country? I was just saying earlier in the broadcast, do you remember when it was a big deal, the national left-wing media trying to make a big deal out of President Trump's America First policies? And now people accept, you know, we really have a president who's putting this country and Americans first, as it should be.
They feel good about it. They feel good that we finally have a president that is sticking up for them, saying, you know, we're gonna fight for our workers, our jobs, and you know, so you know, again, I couldn't be happier to be in a debate and debate those issues.
Well, you know, you're going into this general election with I think a pretty extraordinary statement from the president, just simply calling you a legend. So you got to feel pretty good about that.
Well, you know, it was great to help him here in Pennsylvania, and he's back here helping me get into the Senate.
It sounds like a plan to me, Congressman. Great to see you.
Nice to talk to you again.
And Lou, I really like that first name. it really works. I like those
I
signs,
like
too.
yours, too.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Lou Barletta, running for Senate in the great state of Pennsylvania.